Hello everybody. I know it's weird having an English video in an Arabic channel, but actually I don't think it's fair for the world to miss all the fun that we're having in Egypt right now. This would be selfish of us. So allow me to take you in a journey to the land of the pyramids, the Sphinx, and the political shenanigans. Egypt, where elections are as straightforward as a David Lynch movie. By the way, I'm Ahmed Behiry, and I am not running for the president of Egypt, because apparently that's a job people just can't seem to get enough of. While you've been navigating through your own political circus, wherever you are, Egypt has been quietly preparing for an election that's, let's say, less House of Cards and more Veep in its execution. First up, meet Abdel-Fattah al-Sisi, Egypt's military dictator and the world's most unwilling candidate, who's just so selflessly running for a third term.
وأقول لكم بلسان صادق كما عهدتكم بأنني حين لبيت نداء المصريين وتوليت المسؤولية التي حملوني إياها لم أكن أملك خزائن الأرض أو جوامع الوعود الوردية. لم أكن أملك سوى إيماني بالله وبمصر وانحيازي لإرادتكم والعمل بتجرد وإخلاص حاملا معي شرف العسكرية المصرية ويكفيني بها وساما على صدري. وكما لبيت نداء المصريين من قبل فإنني قبل أن أقول الفقرة ديت هطلب منكم إن إحنا نتوجه إلى الله سبحانه وتعالى وندعوه ونقول يا رب. طب من فضلكم طب اسمحوا لي إن كان يا رب في غيري أولى بها مني فوفقه ويسر لي. ويا رب إذا كنت أنا أولى بها فوفقني ويسر لي. انتوا عايزين تتعبوا على طول بقى. طيب متشكر جدا. فإنني بإذن الله ألبي اليوم نداءهم مرة أخرى وعقدت العزم على ترشيح نفسي لكم لاستكمال الحلم في مدة رئاسية جديدة. أعدكم بإذن الله بأن تكون امتدادا لسعينا المشترك من أجل مصر وشعبها.
I shall run for the presidency for you, my people. Oh, even Hollywood cannot match this level of drama. And the Oscar for the best actor in a political drama goes to Sisi for his role as the reluctant leader pushed into service by an apparently adoring nation. Oh no, please, I couldn't lead you again. Well, if you insist. Jokes aside, the situation in Egypt is looking like a Marvel movie plot that lost its superheroes. Sisi, who slid into presidency after a military coup and ensured his re-elections with methods that would make even Cersei Lannister go, damn, that's cold. This Sisi is running for a third term amid a crumbled economy and astronomical food inflation rates. And among all this, try to guess what al-Sisi is telling people as a part of his campaign.
اسمعوا لو كان البنى والتنمية والتقدم ثمن الجوع والحرمان اوعوا يا مصريين ما تقدموش. اوعوا يا مصريين تقولوا ناكل احسن. والله العظيم لو كمان ثمن التقدم والازدهار للأمة انها ما تاكلش وما تشربش زي ما الناس بتاكل وتشرب. ما تاكلش وما تشربش.
If the road to progress means hunger and thirst, then let's starve our way to progress. Abdel-Fattah al-Sisi, everybody, adding dietitian to his rather Spartan political resume. While some of you might be planning for your next juice cleanse, Sisi thought, why not cleanse the whole country of food, currency value, and democratic practices?
النهارده رايح اشتري الزيت اللي انا كنت بجيبه من سنه او من اقل من سنه ب 130 جنيه، بعد كده زاد بقى ب 230 جنيه، يعني زياده 100 جنيه مره واحده. النهارده رايح اجيبه لقيت الراجل بيقول لي ب 270 جنيه. ده غير ان انا كل ما بخش في مكان الاقي الاسعار ولعت، انا بحس ان انا داخل مكان بيتنصب عليا. موضوع الزيادات ده مش هينفع، ومش هينفع احنا نحاسب على المشاريب بتاعت اللي حصل في البلد، لان اللي حصل في البلد ده حصل من وراه مصالح لناس كتير جدا جدا في البلد، وطلعوا من وراه باحلى فلوس وعايشين احلى عيشه لحد النهارده. وكفايه القصور والحاجات اللي احنا بنتفرج عليها دي، ان احنا نعيش بالمنظر ده مش العمليه كبيره شهرين ثلاثه، والناس اللي بيستلف من حد هيروح يقول له عايز فلوسي، هيقول له مفيش، هيقتلوا بعض، الناس هتموت بعض في الشوارع. فمن الافضل كده تشوفوا حل، يا اما تسيبوه لان البلد حالها يقرف.
For those who haven't been keeping up with the newest weight loss trends, Egyptians are being served a hearty plate of economic catastrophe with a side of political absurdity. They are having a surge in food prices. Their currency is having more down than an elevator. And get this, Sisi got re-elected. And if this is not enough, he has been also kind enough to share his financial insights, claiming that with just 1 billion Egyptian pounds, he could fuel fake protests to ruin the country. It's like a DIY guide to regime change brought to you by the man himself.
انا كنت بكلم الساده مجلس القضاء الاعلى الصبح، وقلت لهم تخيلوا ان انا ممكن اهدي مصر ب 2 مليار جنيه، ادي باكيته و20 جنيه وشريط ترامادول ل 100,000 انسان ظروفه صعبه، انزله يعمل حاله بكام؟ لو انا مش هدي له بقى 20، الدنيا غلت، هدي له 1000 جنيه. هدي له كام يا دكتور؟ 1000 جنيه. ال 100,000 يبقى بكام؟ ب 100 مليون جنيه. انزلهم كام اسبوع كامل؟ 10 اسابيع بكام؟ بمليار جنيه. اهد بلد فيها 100 مليون ولا 105 مليون بمليار جنيه، يعني 30 مليون دولار في ناس بتصرفهم في حفله.
Oh, what a shocker. A leader is setting up an election where the outcome is as predictable as a Fast and Furious movie. Cars will drift, things will blow up, and nobody's acting career is going anywhere. Not only that, al-Sisi decided that, hey, why hold elections in spring when people are hopeful and all? Let's have it in December, the perfect month for electoral gifts.
بصوا يا جماعه، قالوا رحلات ببلاش والجمعيه عاملاها للناس الغلابه، واللي عنده عيال يجيبها واللي عنده جيران يجيبها واللي عنده اي حد يجيبه يتفسح، وهدايا للاطفال وفي الاخر طلعوا عايزيننا ننتخبوا السيسي. ما طلعتش حفله، طلعت انتخاب للسيسي، بيوروا الشعب ان السيسي الوطن عايزه، لكن احنا مش عايزينه. والله احنا جوعنا اساسا، جوعنا وبهدلنا والحاجه غلت والناس اتشردت. الناس جايه عشان وجبه، الناس جايه عشان خاطر فسحه يا ناس. بص الشعب.
Sisi securing his position amidst a tanking economy, inflation rates higher than Snoop Dogg on a weekend, and a US aid cut, has in what can only be described as a master stroke of kindness, given out food vouchers in exchange for support. Yeah, democracy at its finest. The old vote for me, he's a sandwich strategy. Impeccable, isn't it? Now, for those of you thinking, wait, food vouchers don't sound that bad, well, let me introduce you to the age-old tactic of autocrats. The old support me and here's a sandwich maneuver. Sisi is handing out these food vouchers like Oprah used to hand out cars, just with a slightly higher stakes, the sustenance of the Egyptian people. Now, political analysts theorize that those elections are being rushed out before some potentially painful economic policies roll out, such as the even more de-evaluation of the Egyptian pound. Because nothing says vote for me like making everyone's money worthless. Who wouldn't love a leader who makes your money disappear? So basically, it's like, let me secure my seat before the real storm hits. And, oh, you don't like it? Here, have a sandwich. Now, any good elections need opposition, right? And Egypt has that, kind of, in a way, sort of. Meet Ahmed al-Tantawi, a brave or insane soul who decided to challenge Sisi despite the previous election's opposition candidate somehow finishing third in a two-man race. I mean, how do you even manage that? It's like running a marathon and somehow finishing after a guy who wasn't even competing. It's like losing a game of rock, paper, scissors to a fern. Al-Tantawi, a journalist and a former lawmaker who surfaced as a credible challenger to Sisi, an opposition candidate whose backers mysteriously got arrested. And nothing says a fair game like your phone being targeted with spyware. It's like Siri turned evil. The funny thing is that the regime in Egypt is an expert in creating these controlled social experiments where they tell you it's real elections and that you as a citizen are free to run against the current Prezi-King. But when you decide to do that, if they don't arrest you, they bore you to death with bureaucracy and paid thugs so that you can never finish the required papers to run for Prezi-King.
خدت رقم 258 كل يوم اجي اول امبارح اروح الارقام اتغيرت بارقام جديده خدت 136 جيت امبارح قال لي الارقام اتغيرت خدت رقم 138 جينا النهارده قالوا خد رقم جديد نفس القصه مفيش اي جديد وقاعدين من ساعتها بره ومحدش لغايه دلوقتي دخل
تعبنا عايزين نعمل توكيل والموظف المسؤول مش موجود فين الموظف المفروض يكون متواجد من الساعه 9 صباحا اين هو وعايزين نوكل حد غير السيسي مش عايزين السيسي
رحت النهارده زي اي حد عامل توكيل لاحمد الطنطاوي كشاب زي اي شاب يعني نفس البلد تتغير وللاحسن. تعرضت للضرب وابشع الضرب في كل منطقه في جسمي. خدوا مني كل حاجه، خدوا كل بطاقتي والفيز كلها، وخدوا مني المحفظه كان فيها حوالي 3700 جنيه القبض بتاعي، وخلوني اجبروني ان انا ارفع صوره السيسي والعلم بتاع مصر.
يا عم عبد الفتاح السيسي، انت راجل مسكتنا 10 سنين، كل خطواتك مش عارف اوكل، مش عارف اشرب، مش عارف اعلم، مش عارف اسكن، ومش عارف ومش عارف ومش عارف ومش عارف ومش عارف ومش عارف. استلمت البيضه ب 50 قرش، فضلت ورانا 10 سنين لغايه ما خليتها البيضه ب 5 جنيه، ده احنا بنلحس البيض لحس دلوقتي، ما بناكلش بيض. خلاص يا عم الحاج، يا عم الحاج الله يهديك، توكل على الله يا عم، ونازل انتخابات تاني ليه؟ ما انت راجل ما انتش عارف توكلنا ولا شربنا ولا تعمل زراعه ولا صناعه ولا تعمل اي حاجه. خلاص سيبنا يا عم، خد القرشين بتوعك الله يسهل لك واطلع اقعد لك في جزر من جزر مالديف ولا بلطيف. ده احنا شعب وحش، عايز تبقى رئيس علينا تاني ليه؟
لو رئيس الجمهوريه مش قد الانتخابات ما كانش قال يا بشباب. لو خايفين من ان يمكنونا من حقنا بس ان نعمل يمكنونا بالصندوق ما يدعوش ان هم وبكرر رئيس الجمهوريه بالنسبه لي منافس نقطه ولا مش عايز غير سفاره وصندوق وافوز عليه.
Oh, you thought running against the president would be permittable? That clip reminded me of something that has been baffling me about the Egyptian regime. It's like a riddle wrapped in a mystery inside an enigma and then deep fried in pure unadulterated hypocrisy. The Egyptian regime has a, let's call it, complicated relationship with homosexuality. It's more complex than a soap opera love triangle. They seem to loathe it, often accusing the opposition of being homosexuals, because as we all know, your sexual orientation is directly correlated to your political acumen. It's politics 101, really. But here's where the plot thickens. Despite their outward homophobia, the regime's own actions sometimes raise few eyebrows, shall we say? And it's not just being gay. Oh no, that's amateur hour. The opposition, according to the regime, are also Jews, spies, Muslim extremists, and terrorists, all at the same time. It's like they are trying to collect the whole set of political insults. It's a Pokemon of political persecution. I mean, it's like trying to be a vegan meat lover who's also a part-time butcher in the weekends. And the media, bless them, they just roll with it, presenting these accusations with the solemnity of a parrot reciting Shakespeare. They are presenting these accusations with a straight face as if they are reporting that water is wet.
هذا المخنث التاريخي موجود ومعروف اللي بيؤجر نفسه مفروش للجميع. الناس اللي بيكرهوا مصر بهذا الشكل انا بقول لهم موتوا بغيظكم. شوفوا المصريين ادوكوا بالجزمه خلال صناديق الانتخابات.
In today's news, opposition figures are gay, Jewish, spies, terrorists, extremists. In other news, the sun rose from the east and bears continue to prefer wooded areas for the bathroom needs. But here's where the pyramid scheme, and I do mean scheme, goes wrong. Opposition candidates are getting a free tour of Egypt's prisons, and some Egyptians are learning that the cost of food vouchers is much, much more than a checkbox in a ballot. And of course, let's not forget the international perspective. Egypt being the IMF's second largest debtor is like your friend who borrows money for rent and then buys a jet ski.
طيب قصور رئاسيه امال ايه؟ انا هعمل قصور رئاسيه وهعمل هي ليا؟ انا بعمل دوله جديده. لا انا اعمل واعمل بس مش بعمله ليا، مش باسمي. ده مش باسمي، مفيش حاجه باسمي، ده باسم مصر، باسم مصر.
Hey Sisi, my man, remember those $3 billion you needed for, what was it? Oh, bread? Oh yeah, I'm gonna need that back. Also, nice tank. Oh, and is that a new presidential aeroplane? Nice. But seriously, my 3 billion? So, what does the future hold for Egypt? Well, if Sisi wins, it's 6 more years of this.
بالله العظيم ما كنت من الصبح الوقت اللي ما كنت تجيب من الصبح وقاعد من ساعتها استنى فرج ربنا فرج عليا اهو ب 50 جنيه هجيب واحد كشري دلوقتي ب 35 جنيه واجيب ب 10 جنيه سجاير. طب ده ينفع يا جدعان؟ اللي كنا ماشيين بنفرق فلوس ما احناش لاقيين نجيب كيلو بطاطس ب 22 جنيه 3 كيلو ونص طماطم ب 100 جنيه. ايه يا عم فين الميات دي؟ طب شغلني اديني ال 100 جنيه شغلني في حاجه واديني ال 100 جنيه اجيب بها اكل. ماشي خلي الحاجه غاليه بس شغلني عشان اجيب 100 جنيه. اسرق مفيش حاجه عادت تتسرق. العيال الكبالين امبارح بقول له بتعمل ايه؟ بقول لي والله العظيم يا عم مصطفى ما نلاقي رغيف في الزباله انضفه واكله. بيمسحوا الرغيف كده ويقعدوا يغمسوه اي حاجه طماطمايه واقعه اي حاجه واقعه ياكلوا. اقسم بالله انا ماسك عيال امبارح بياكلوا من الزباله.
And remember, this is a man who changed the constitution to allow himself to run again and again and again. Because when you're in a role suppressing opposition and managing an economic crisis, why stop? Let's keep this party going. But in all seriousness, and this is no laughing matter, it's a chilling example of how the stew of political unrest is slow cooked. We have arrests, economic crisis, and the gory spectacle of a leader parading around ignoring the plights of his people, while whispering sweet nothings about national pride and progress. A bulk of Egyptian people are paying the real price of Sisi's machinations, with 70% food inflation chewing through the pockets of working class citizens. It's a situation where loyalty is bought through the simple act of providing basic necessities. Because, well, hunger is a very powerful motivator. Behind the political satire and jokes, there is a narrative of struggle, a narrative of people whose lives are entwined with political machinations far beyond their control. And while Sisi might think that hunger is a price to pay for prosperity, the Egyptian people are bearing the real cost. They say history repeats itself, but in Egypt's case, it seems less like a repeat and more like a never-ending loop of the same terrible episode. Egyptians grappling with this economic turmoil and political theater, they deserve more than a leader who tells them to starve for progress. They deserve a leader who serves them progress that's tangible, accessible, and doesn't come at the cost of basic necessities. Thank you for being with us today, and hopefully we'll meet again soon. See you.